Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear learners. Today we have a story, The Servant by H.T. Samaino. As usual, we have introduction about the writer, and then we have story. Dear learners, I'll recall summary of this story for you, and what you have to do is to note down this summary in your notebook and prepare for your exam. This is the story of a Russian village boy named Gerasim. He belonged to a peasant family, but from early boyhood he had been living in Moscow. While he was yet a mere child, he worked as a bottle washer in a brewery. Then he worked as a lover servant in a house for the last 2 years. He had been working with the merchant. Then he was called back to his village for military duty, but he was not selected for military service. So he came back to Moscow and tried to find some job for himself. One day he went to a man named Yegor, who was from his village. This man worked as a coachman with a rich merchant. He had an oily tongue and had earned the favor of his master. He gave Gerasim a hearty welcome. He served him with tea and also gave him something to eat. Gerasim told him how he had failed to find any job in Moscow. At this, the coachman started giving a long sermon on honesty and faithfulness. He said that workers are not generally honest and faithful. That is why they are refused employment when they come back again. Now there was an old man working with the merchant as an all-purpose servant. His name was Polikarpych. Yegor started convincing his master that Polikarpych had become too old to work properly. He said that the old man was no good now and should be dismissed. But the merchant had all sympathy for his old servant. He did not want to throw him on the road. Moreover, there was the old man's wife also. He thought it is sin to dismiss his old servant for no reason. When Gerasim came to the next day, Yegor took him to his master. After a few little questions, he agreed to take Gerasim as a man of all work. He asked him to come the next day and take Polikarpych's place. Gerasim was almost mad with joy. He thanked the coachman and took his leave, but as he was crossing the yard, he heard some voices coming from inside the room near the gate. Gerasim knew it was going to be his room now, and he stopped there to listen to that the people inside were saying. And what Gerasim heard gave him a big shock. There in the room were Polikarpych and his wife wailing over the way they had been dismissed. Both of them knew it was Yegor who was behind all that act of cruelty. The wife said that she would tell the master now Yegor had been indulging in acts of thieving, but Polikarpych said that it would be a sin to do so. The woman burst out sobbing. Gerasim heard all this. He walked back to Yegor and said that he did not want that job. He said that he would look for another job himself. Yorgos flew into a rag and started abusing Gerasim without saying a word in reply. Gerasim left the place. He felt happy and light-hearted. So this was the summary of your story, The Servant. I hope you will note this and prepare for your exam. We'll meet tomorrow, inshallah, in the next video class.